The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. We are minutes away from the main event. Fight between Manny Pacquiao and Dennis Ugas starts. Pacquiao will battle Ugas for the WBA super welterweight title, with both fighters weighing in under 147-pound limit. The Filipino icon eyes to reclaim the title he once owned after the WBA stripped it off him earlier this year due to inactivity and rewarded it to Ugas. This will be Pacquiao's first fight again after 2 years. Ugas was originally scheduled to fight on the undercard but stepped in for the injured Errol Spence Jr. and faced Pacquiao on only 11 days' notice. In the final undercard fight, the boxer Robert Guerrero wins against Victor Ortiz in their welterweight battle. Now, throughout the fight, the boxers seem to be evenly matched as they duel in the welterweight co-main event. But Ortiz maintained a slight advantage over Guerrero as a punch left Guerrero's eye completely shut at round 5. In the end, Guerrero prevailed with a score of 96-94. This is Guerrero's 37th win. Now, earlier, Filipino fighter Mark Magsayo sent his Mexican foe sleeping on the canvas to take the win in their WBC featherweight title eliminator. Magsayo knocked his opponent down as early as the first round, but Julio Ceja recovered, also sending Magsayo kneeling in round 5. But Magsayo got a second win in the next half, landing 2 solid straights in round 10 that set Ceja down in his corner. With this win, Magnifico became the new WBO International Featherweight Champion and maintained his flawless record in the ring. Meanwhile, deaths in Cebu City spiked following an increase in COVID-19 cases in the area. Jenny Dongon with the story.
Just an hour after opening the cadaver section of the Cebu City Health Office this weekend, the office has recorded over 15 death certification applications. 5 out of the 15 deaths were COVID patients. Head of cadaver section, Dr. Alice Aicardo, said that they process around 20 to 30 death applications every day this month. This as deaths in Cebu City spiked in August compared to the previous 2 months. The city's cadaver section reports that they have already tallied nearly 800 deaths as of August 20. Over 200 of them were COVID-related fatalities. This is higher than the average of over 500 deaths in June and July, when an increase in COVID-related fatalities was seen last month. Despite this, Dr. Aicardo said that non-COVID-related deaths were still the highest since most of them do not want to be hospitalized.
Most of them are afraid to go to the hospital because, you know, that they thought that they got COVID once they're there. And then others, they cannot go inside the hospital because it's already full. Mostly because they're just afraid if the patient or the one of their loved ones who died will be COVID.
As most of them refuse to go seek medical care, the hospital will declare them a COVID-19 casualty. Among them is Lola Lilia, an 80-year-old woman who died last Friday. 3 weeks ago, Lola Lilia tripped inside her house but decided not to go to the hospital despite injuries.
Mana wala may magpakuan jud kay mo gyapon di dawatan puro puno. Puno man ang hospital. Wala lang may budayon. Kaya maunsa niya no sa gawas. Kaya anak mas gawas. Mabuhat. Tabalay lang amo siyang pagka bangon-bangonon nya takanon.
Her daughter admits that if Lola Lilia was rushed to the hospital after the accident, she could still be alive by now.
Orang po may mahimo. Tingnan sa akong isuon, di may kapataka o kuan kay bawo ka sa sitwasyon karon. Idadara na sad. Naglikay lang yung jud mi. So may gawas-gawas na mas balay.
Currently, hospitals in Cebu City are still in critical level. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, we are One News.
The Philippine National Police will continue to strictly implement granular lockdowns as Metro Manila shifts to modified ECQ. PNP Chief Guillermo Elizar directed his commanders to intensify the enforcement of granular lockdowns in areas with high COVID-19 cases. Nearly 150,000 individuals were apprehended for violating protocols during the two-week ECQ and NCR. Elizar urged the public to cooperate with the government efforts to curb the spread of the virus. The Interior Department has earlier said that the government will do away from widespread lockdowns by September. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Riza Diaz. In France, thousands of people took to the streets of Paris for the sixth weekend of demonstration against the country's COVID-19 health pass. Four separate protests took place simultaneously in the French capital, urging President Emmanuel Macron to withdraw the law on health pass requirement. Protesters, almost all unmasked, waved French flags and signs critical of President Macron and chanted the word freedom. Despite a considerable turnout, the various marches passed off without early reports of any violence. Many Afghans desperate to leave the country continue to crowd outside the Kabul airport days after the Taliban takeover. Some people reach the airport without holding any documents, but still hoping that they might be allowed to leave. The Taliban urged those without travel documents to go home. NATO and Taliban officials said at least 12 people have been killed in around the single runway airfield since Sunday. Meanwhile, a former Afghan translator for the United States Army currently living in the States fears for his family as the Taliban takes over the Middle Eastern country. Let's watch this.
Their lives are in danger right now. Like, they serve the military, so they go after them, you know. You can hear the gunshot around the airport. And Taliban come over him and say, "Hey, what are you doing here?" And they smash his face, they punch him, they beat him. One of my younger sister, she was nurse, she was working for the hospital. She's scared also. When I call her, she's crying. It's very painful, yeah. Not just for me, for everybody, even for people all over the world. I want from the United States government, please, like, take care of our family also. We can support them, we can give them home, you know. We can do anything for them to stay in a safe place with us together. Cool? Oh, good job.
And the main event, a fight between Manny Pacquiao and Eugenio Ugas is now underway. We'll give you more updates on that much-awaited duel as soon as we have them. Now, for now, those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later again at 1 in the afternoon as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Now, you can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.